We thank you, Father. I pray, Lord Jesus, that you will bless this meeting, that you'll bless all the controls, that there should be no interference from the enemy. And Lord God, fill my mouth so that I can deliver what you will have. You will know what each couple is requiring and the reason that they're here. So, Father, I pray that you'll fill my mouth so that I could deliver to them what they need. I bless your name, Jesus. Amen. Wonderful. Okay. So, everybody should have received a worksheet in email. If you did not receive the email, tell me now because I can quickly send it. So it's the Art of Reconnecting. Are you listening? A worksheet. Did you see that? Oh, wonderful. Has anybody not got their worksheet? Because you're going to need it. Wonderful. Okay, great. So the first thing that you should have done is actually use the app that I created, and it's a gauge as to where your relationship is at the moment. And it's something I think that as a couple, even my husband and I, we use it as a couple, that you do it regularly. So if we're going through an issue, I don't know if there's been an issue like a death or an illness, something big, then we actually repeat that app exercise, and definitely we do it every 6 months, because every 6 months we have this meeting, like a plan on what's happened in the first 6 months of the year, just like a business, because your relationship is like a business. And then we repeat the app. So, and we do it separately so that Dennis can see where I'm at and I can see where he's at. Because often as a couple, especially when you really don't want to hurt or upset, you need to say things, but you need to find ways to say it that it doesn't hurt the other one. And so therefore I find using the app really helps, and a psychologist helped me put it together. So hopefully when your numbers come through and your results come through, you'll look at it and go, I can see that that's right, and so forth. So I hope you were able to do the base app on how your relationship is. If not, you could do it later. And then the homework was, are you listening? And it says the ways I limit my listening. So for instance, I found myself doing it sometimes. I will be busy in the middle of things. Thank God all our children are grown up now. I'm now 66 and our 5 sons are grown up and have left home. But even when we have the children, or when they come to visit and all the 10 grandchildren come to visit, it really takes all your attention. So sometimes I'll find that my husband may come into the room and say something to me and I'm still reading or doing something else or talking on the phone. And so I find doing an exercise like this will really help you to fix those habits that we sometimes get into. All right. So the first question was, at the top it says, think about the way that you listen to your partner. Tick every way in which you sometimes limit your listening. Be honest. This is a private reflection, and you will never have to give me the results unless you want to, or unless I become your relationship coach at some point. So, listening for facts. That's number one. Listening precisely for my own purposes and information while ignoring everything else. And it shows to the other person that you're actually not concerned about what they're saying. And even if that's not your intention, that's how people end up feeling, especially if you do it a lot. And the question 2, preparing my answer. Sometimes when you may not be in an argument, but you've already started preparing your answer in your head whilst your partner is talking. So you've not given them the space and time to complete what they're saying, and then you are actually already preparing an answer. Now, sometimes we all do it. It's human. It's fight or flight. So we are actually preparing, how am I going to get one-upmanship on my partner, it could be your boss at work, it could be your work colleague. This relationship thing it's right across the board. So if you're already preparing your answer, it means that that's not fair because you've not listened to the whole lot. And so that's something else that you need to avoid doing and try not to do. And then problem solving. So for instance, if I say to Sean, my window is open and it's blowing a gust in, naturally she will want to go and she'll say, Hazel, shut your window then. Maybe I'm telling her that, but I'm not asking her. It's a really silly example, actually. I may not be asking her for a solution. I may just be saying, this is happening with me and I need some support, or I just need a sounding board. How can you help me without solving my problem? Because often talking to somebody as a sounding board is because you are saying, help me by listening, but not by solving. And then when you've finished listening to that person, you could then say to them, interesting. So is there anything else you'd like me to know? Would you like me to help? I may be able to come up with the solution or help you bring the solution from inside of you. And then you give that person the excuse as to controls as to whether they should be helping or not. Do you understand? So I'm not saying, Sean, help me, or Dennis, help me. I'm actually saying, this is what I'm going through. This is my land mass at the moment. And can you please just listen? Because maybe there's something I'm not seeing. And then at the end, you say, okay, would you like me to help you find the solution? So welcome to those that have just arrived. Welcome. We've prayed and we are ready to go. And then, so these questions on here, if you've not already answered all of the questions, we're talking about the questions on the homework to those of you that I hope you printed it off, to those of you that have just joined. And then there is another one. So we've done problem solving. There's motor running, believing that I can do other things and listen properly at the same time. Well, we all can multitask, but when you multitask, one thing becomes your focus. So you can still multitask, but one thing will be done expertly and everything else goes down the road. Do you understand? So especially women, God has blessed us with this multitasking thing because we were the ones that originally was meant to be the caregiver, the love giver, the making home and all of that. I know we've gone a long way down the road from that. Nevertheless, women have still got this extra perception to be able to multitask a lot. Actually, my husband has learnt multitasking, and I would say at the moment he's way better at it than me because he gets less stressed than me. So men can learn it, and so I'm not saying men can't do it. But if you are multitasking, I guarantee you, one thing will be your focus and the other things will get 70%, then 60%, 50%, until you're down to 10%. Could be your partner, or they could feel that they're that 10%. Do you understand? So watch that. Motor running is a real problem. When I coach couples, that's what they tell me. Now, pacifying, trying to make my spouse feel better while avoiding the tougher issues. I didn't ask you to help me, to pacify me at all. If I'm in the midst of that, I'm actually saying help me, but I'm not saying pacify me. I'm saying listen to me. I may have the wrong perception. I may be wrong, but if you don't listen, how can you help me see that I am wrong? Okay, the next question in the homework, question 6, was impatience. I suffer from that. My niece who's on here that's been helping me with the controls earlier. I'm really bad at Zoom controls, by the way. So I've got Christina on here somewhere helping me. And impatience is one of my issues. Pray for me when you pray about impatience. Giving the impression that I'm very busy and leaving my spouse feeling what he or she has to say is not important. I do not really want to listen, but because I know you're going to get anxious, then I will pretend I'm listening. Watch that. Number 7, I've heard all this before. I'm being very dismissive, assuming that I already know what my spouse is going to say, so I stop listening. I prefer to believe that there is nothing new being communicated. Now, I actually test my husband, and actually he tests me too. So if he thinks I'm not really listening because I'm still looking at my paperwork or whatever at my desk in our home, then he will say, "What did I just say?" And sometimes I've actually heard and I'll repeat it. And he'll say, "Okay, what did..." And when he says what, 20% of the time I don't get it right if I'm not listening properly. So you can parrot fashion because your ears is still connected to your brain while you're working. So you can parrot fashion it. If the person asks you, "What did you mean?" often you can't repeat that. So that's another thing that comes up with issues. All these questions have been based on couples that we have worked with over time. Now, hanging on to words only, taking only the words at face value and interpreting them only literally is a big no-no. There's got to be intentionality. And that's why having an argument as couple over WhatsApp or over text, never do that. Just don't do it, because you cannot see or feel or sense the intentionality. And a lot of workplaces will say the biggest arguments in a workplace happens by an email that one colleague has sent from one department to the other. What do you mean about whatever XYZ? Because you've sent me the request 5 minutes to 5 and I sign off at 5 o'clock. So if you send that in an email, it sounds very confrontational. Well, it's as if you walk into the room and say, "Hey, I've only got 5 minutes here. Is this something that I could do tomorrow?" The intentionality sounds different. And it's the same with your spouse. Always watch your intentionality. Also, having grown up 5 adult men that once were teenagers, I'm telling you, intentionality with your teenagers is really high up there on how they react to you. Okay, 2 more. So number 9, personal past history, allowing experiences from before our marriage to prevent me from listening openly to another position on the issue. So here, for instance, Dennis and I have been together for 40 years. In 40 years, you can imagine, we think we know everything there is to know about each other. What we sometimes forget is that we're human and we change. In fact, even in the animal kingdom, a lot of mammals change their personality. My cat, years, is probably around 30 now, and over time, he has changed in his attitude, in what he wants to eat, in when he wants to sleep, because he's a mammal. We change. All right. And so it's the same in your marriage. Don't ever assume that being together for 40 years, I may see somebody out shopping and they go, "All right, are you guys free to come round this Saturday for lunch?" And I may just say yes, but I've not actually texted Dennis what I should have said, even after 40 years, even if I think Dennis is not busy, I should have said, "What? Anybody want to answer? What should I have said?" Unmute your mic and tell me. If somebody invites me, what should I say?
I'm going to check with my husband first.
Yes, thanks, Dornet.
You're
Dornet
welcome.
is joining us all the way from the US of A. Okay, check with your husband or your spouse first. It's really important. Hey, hold on, let me just send them a text or let me just call them. You can do it right there and then. And just call them and say, "Dornet has invited me over to lunch. She's paying my flights. Can we go?" Good evening. My name is Hazel N. Williams. The N stands for Nelson, but as an author, I only use Hazel N. Williams. And together with my husband, we are the founders of Holding On Together. It's a relationship platform. We coach and we counsel couples. We coach and counsel do not have to only be Christians, but the majority of the people that come across like begets like, so I find a lot of our people are Christians. And you can find more information about us on our website, holdingontogetherofficial.com. So welcome. Before we begin, my mission is to help couples connect before they disconnect, okay? So sometimes things are not that bad. And what I think is wrong, really, is that couples wait until things are in crisis before they contact people are in the space that I am in. So whether a psychotherapist or a counselor or a coach in the relationship world. And the tips that I've got to share tonight are not shallow tips. I've already said my husband and I have been together for 40 years. We've raised 5 sons that have gone on to have their own children. One of them is a psychologist. He helps me whenever, like with my app, and also my brother-in-law and one of my nieces are in this space. So I've got lots of help around me to make what I deliver to you stronger. The word on safety, and this is really important. A lot of coaches will not tell you what their boundaries are. My boundary is this, that reconnection requires emotional and physical safety. If there is any form of abuse or coercion or intimidation or fear going on in your relationship, then you actually will not get everything you need from tonight. You actually need to get counseling as a couple and separately. And that's really important. We do not believe that anyone that's being especially physically abused should remain where they are unsafe. And a lot of people, men and women, will stay in a relationship because of the children. But if you are being battered, you need to get yourself out of there until the person that's causing that fear to you can get the help that they need before you can reconcile again. And I hope I've made myself very clear there. Now, my promise tonight is that I'm not going to help you pretend that everything is fine. Every relationship under the sun will have seasons where there are issues. Even ones that have lasted as long as 40 years will have issues. And my husband and I will set aside time to leave everything, work, we run businesses, family and everything, and go away so that we can be by ourselves and find each other again. This is really important, and we do it on a regular basis, and especially when our children were young. Thank God we had his mother and my mother babysitting my sisters and his sisters. We would do that. We would take weekends away as often as we needed it in order to sort things out without the children even hearing us argue, because I think that's wrong. Children should not hear you argue. Okay. Now, before we begin, the homework sheet, I've already gone through, so I've did things in the wrong order here. This is the base app link. So if you have not opened the email that I sent out to all registrants, then you'd be able to copy that down and use the app later. Now, this is something that I would like you to do. I hope you've got pens and a bit of paper, or you could do it on your phone. Now, it says, lately have felt more like, are we lovers and friends? Are we a good team? Are we housemates? Are we more than one on here? Are we colleagues managing a project? Especially people that have been together for more than 10 years. Sometimes they end up managing a project as opposed to being lovers and friends that manage a project. Strangers sharing a history. Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 minute and you can write down as many of them that make sense to your relationship. But if you're on here as a couple, you should be doing it separately, please.
Oh yeah, just quick.
Yes,
Hazel. James here. I'm Sean's husband.
James.
I did register separately, but my laptop had an issue and I had to, basically I couldn't get Zoom in time. On the app front, both my wife and I tried the link to do the questionnaire. To go through the questionnaire on the link.
You mean the base app?
Was it the face app? What was it called?
I think so. It's the first link on your email.
The first one. Basically, we couldn't get it to work.
Okay.
And it wouldn't give us a result at the end.
And it always says that there's error message after we click submit.
Okay, all right. Did anybody else get the error message from the base app? No. So it could be the browser that you're using. If you drop into the chat, Sean, Christina will write this down for me. So if you drop into the chat tonight, what browser you're using, whether you were on your phone or whether you were on a laptop or whatever. Then
I was using my iPhone. My husband, James, using your laptop.
I think I used the laptop at the time.
So which is
are your browsers different?
I think I use Google. I use Google.
Okay. I promise you at the end tonight, if you drop in all the information and also maybe a contact phone number, I'll call you and go through with you. And if I can't solve it tonight, my tech person will solve it for you tomorrow.
That's fine. It's just the chat is disabled as well.
Is it?
Is
Wow. That was not meant to happen. Christina?
I'll have a look now if I
Thank
can
you.
do it from the app.
All right. Thank you so much.
We didn't mean
All
to
right.
interrupt your session because the chat was disabled, so there's no way to communicate. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
sorry about
Christina, can you put something in the chat to see if people can see what you're putting in the chat? Because maybe it's just disabled for the group, but not disabled for you.
it's on now.
Oh,
It's on.
Right, thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. I am so sorry about that, but the technical stuff. Okay. All right. So I hope you've all been able to finish that. Is there anybody that would like to come on and tell me whether they were different to their partner with the exercise that we just did? No? Okay. All right. So now this is a foundational truth. Disconnection rarely begins with one dramatic event. More often, it is repeated as an experience all the way through. Okay, so if a couple comes to me and say, we are thinking of separating, but we are trying one last time so that we don't separate, my question and my fact find is going to try to go back to when did you first discover you were disconnected or you were beginning to be disconnected. Because if you go to pull a socket plug out of the wall, right, you need to pull out all 3 pins together for the disconnection to take place. And with some items, I've got a light downstairs that when I pull it out of the wall, the light is still on for a good couple of seconds afterwards, and before it completely runs out of juice and disconnects, right? So disconnection is not normally one dramatic event. If it's something like an affair, then maybe. But normally, it is not one dramatic event. And that's why this whole ministry is geared around trying to get couples to recognize certain disconnection before the whole thing disconnects. So certain things before it disconnects. Is it a feeling? Is it something I heard that my partner may have said, or the way they said it? Did I not understand something? Did I not repair properly after an argument? Did we try to sweep things under the rug so as not to upset the other one, which is that happens quite a lot. So disconnection does not happen straight away, and that's why what I do and what other people do in this space to me is so important. Now, created the 4 pathways. Number 1, pressure, external demands, right? You can read what it says on the screen. I don't need to repeat everything. And then protection. One or both stop revealing themselves because an earlier argument, a criticism, a dismissal has made them feel unsafe or too worried to tell you what they're really feeling. And we just discussed that. And then 3, assumption, right? Familiarity breeds contempt, even with couples, all right? Are you so familiar that you now believe that after, take me and Dennis, after 40 years together, that we know everything about each other? And was there an unrepaired injury that has happened because of an argument? An emotional wound. And so this practical pairing is really important relationally. All right. So that's my 4 pathways. Now, I promised to give you tips this evening, and this is the first one. So season tips. Diagnose, you can take notes, diagnose the distance, not just the disagreement, all right? So diagnose. If someone is standing in front of you, especially your partner or your teenager, because same thing happens, all right? And they are blaring off at you, instead of joining the big argument at the beginning, make sure you understand what they're talking about first. So you listen and then you ask fact-finding questions. Because 2 people, even the Bible says so, 2 people that are arguing won't get anywhere. So one needs to decide to be more toned down so that they can do the fact find. I guarantee you, as someone that used to teach in a secondary school, that if someone is blaring off in an argument, the easiest way to bring their tonality down is for you to speak more softly. Because when they can't hear you, because they're blaring off, they will tone down and they'll go, what do you say? And then that's a spanner in the works and brings everybody back together again. So you need to diagnose the distance, not just the disagreement. What has caused the distance? What is this argument really about? Have you ever been in an argument? I have, where you're talking about something today. I don't know, it could be you loaded the dishwasher and didn't put it on. You didn't unbutton. Now today I haven't got no spoons, right? If that was ever to happen, right? So then argument now spreads to, and last time we had that dinner party, you did the same thing. And then it went off, it goes off to, and blah this. And then all of a sudden, you're arguing about something that happened last year or last month or last week, and not just the fact that you loaded the dishwasher and didn't turn it on. If you are honest, it's happened to all of you here. It may not be about the dishwasher, but it's happened to all of you here in different ways. Now, we're still on season tip 1, the 3-layer question. What happened? I've just said that to you. Keep it factual, keep it simple. What happened? Okay, so I was looking down at my phone whilst I was speaking to you or answering you, right? And I found that really infuriating. So what did it mean to me? I found that infuriating. Felt to me like I didn't matter. I was not as important to you as whomever you were talking to on WhatsApp, on the phone, or whatever work you were doing at your laptop. Okay. And then number 3, what did I need? Make the need understandable and actionable. All right. So don't bring things in that happened years ago. If you are a Christian, you're supposed to have learned to forgive, right? And we've got human brains and we don't always forget. We should at least have forgiven. So therefore we shouldn't be bringing it back up. I needed 2 minutes of your full attention and you didn't give me. So ask the person, what happened? How did it make you feel? And what do you need from me? I'm so sorry. What do you need? I just need 2 minutes of your attention. And then you stop, down tools, give them 2 minutes. Now, in this way that we work now, where people are doing hybrid work or just working from home, you need to make it very clear, like, where the boundary is. If you are on a laptop because you're at work, then if you've got an office or a space in the house, that's your office, and yourself a sign, do not disturb, unless it's an emergency. All right, so the person knows I'm actually working. I am not just on my phone or on the laptop. I am actually working. Please give me time to finish work. Please remind me later and we can go back and visit this. All right, do you think that's fair? Now, beneath the recurring argument, we're still on season tip 1. So I've given you the season tip and I'm telling you how to repair things. All right. So it's an argument that leads to a feeling, that leads to a need, and leads to protection, either because of this thing recurring all the time. It's made me feel unsafe or unneeded or uncared for or not important as, I don't know, the car. I often say to my husband, the car is more important than me, because he's always forever polishing his new car. All right, write down one recurring disagreement. Right, this is something I'd like you to do now. You don't have to share this, it's private. Write down one recurring disagreement, right? And then complete this. I'll give you 1 minute to do that. So you're writing down what the disagreement is, but you are now going to segment it and put it into, this was the argument, this is how I was feeling, this is how they've told me they were feeling, this is what they needed, this is what I needed, and protection. Do I now feel safe? Can we discuss this? And if you haven't discussed it yet, please make time this week and discuss it. Discuss it straight after this if you've got time. 30 seconds left. Okay, I hope you finished that. If not, please take a screenshot or a photo on your phone. I think screenshots disabled, but take a photo on your phone and complete it later. Okay, seasoned principle. Right, so this is the end of tip number 1. Let me just move your beautiful faces out of the way so I could see it. In an argument, most of us will ask in our minds and even ask the other person, what are we arguing about again? Especially with us women, that somehow God has given us this elephant-sized brains to remember things from 6 years ago or things from when we first met that we tend to bring up, right? We should, if it's a habit that we've honed, try to find ways to change that reality. However, you shouldn't just be asking, what are we arguing about? You should be asking, what pain keeps trying to speak through this argument? So if it was about something simple like dishes, or I don't know, not picking up the child after school on time, then let's find out if the argument stretches from just that one thing. Let's find out what the underlying issue is. So that's tip 1. Now we are on to season tip 2. Any questions? I don't know if the chat is now open. Any questions that you want, please put your hand up if you cannot leave it in the chat. I really do want you to participate. Okay, season tip 2. Listen for the meaning beneath the words. And we partially said it in the other tip as well. Most couples do not have a speaking problem. I for one, right, I'm a speaker. I am a trained speaker. I can speak until the cows come home, all right? So in an argument, you can imagine I will go on and on and on, right? But most couples don't have a speaking problem. Hazel does not have a speaking problem when she's arguing with Dennis. What she has is a receiving problem. So I'm arguing with my husband. I'm in the heat of the moment. I'm not listening properly to what he's saying. So I'm not receiving his intentionality. And the HEAR method that I've developed, so HEAR, H is halt, stop multitasking. All right, put your phone down, put that book down, and give the person you love some attention. Give your child, your teenager, some attention. They deserve it. Explore. Ask one curious question. Part of that hurt you most? Or when did you begin feeling this way? What can you do to stop this or to change this? What behavior are you asking me to change? A, acknowledge. Name what makes sense. I understand why that felt so dismissive to you. Didn't mean that. Was not my intention. That alone can save it turning into a huge argument. And R, respond. Ask what is needed now. Comfort, clarity, accountability, practical change, or time to settle. Any questions on that? Okay, wonderful. A 2-minute listening practice. Audience participation, so this is for you. Partner A, so if you're on here with your partner, then do it as partner A and B. If you are on here and your partner could not join, then please write this down from your perspective. Later on, get the perspective of your partner. So let's go. It's on the screen. You can read it. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Hey, how did you find that? You don't have to share, but at least tell me, was this helpful? Anybody? Do I have any people in this room tonight?
Yes, it's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. It just helps to know, is this working? All right, wonderful. Next slide.
I was just going to add as well, is it too late for me to jump on that?
No, jump on it. I'll go back to it.
No, thanks. It was certainly helpful. Just felt 1 minute was probably a bit too short for me, though. It usually takes me about a minute to get processing something. But,
I'm so sorry. It's because I have limited time on here this evening. But you are free to take a photograph of it or just request this. I don't practice to send the slides out, but also you can request the slides if there was something that you missed.
Are you going to share the recording with us later on or not?
Yes, I will share the recording. Normally what I do is I put the recording on my website.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
Thank you, Hazel.
Wonderful, bless you. Okay, now seasoned principle. Before you correct the fact, receive the feeling and the intentionality. Remember, I've been saying intentionality. I've been saying it all evening, right? Because a person who feels received comes more able to hear your side. You see, if my husband is blaring off at me, which is very rarely happens, the blaring person in our relationship has always been me. My husband's in the background going, hallelujah. So he is annoyed about something or annoyed about something that the children or grandchild has said or done, and he's blaring off about it. Helps. I allow him to vent and receive him. I need to actually receive him, receive what he is saying. Sorry, I'm just plugging in my laptop. The battery was going. Right, I need to actually receive him. Allow him to feel heard. Allow him to feel important. Allow him to feel that what he's saying, even if I disagree with it, that I am giving him room to breathe like red wine. And then I may then say something, if I'm in the right frame, then say something like, can I interject here? Is there something that you would like me to help you solve, to make you feel better about this or solve this? I'm asking fact-finding questions so that he doesn't feel I'm jumping in as Mrs. Know-it-all, because I don't need a Mr. Know-it-all and he doesn't need a Mrs. Know-it-all. We're supposed to be a partnership here, okay? So this slide is really important for you to remember. Season tip 3, repair before you resolve. This is really important for you to repair before you resolve. So if you are having a disagreement, it doesn't have to be a big massive argument, but if that's something that you said has come across as the wrong intentionality, it could have been in a WhatsApp message, because people will do that, although I think that we should avoid doing that as much as possible. But if I know that something that I have said has unintentionally hurt the person or people that I love, then I have got to repair before I try to solve it. Because if you try to solve it before you repair, they can't receive you, because they've still got in the front of their heads their meaning that they have attached to what you said. Note I'm saying the meaning that they attached to what you said or did, right? It may not have been your meaning. It's not your intentionality. So you have got to repair that before you try to solve it, right? So healthy relational couples are not couples who never rupture, but they are couples that become skilled at repairing. That's really important. And that's your season tip number 3. Okay, so we're still on number 3, and now we've come to something that I've done called the 5-part repair. So I've told you you've got to repair. Now I'm going to tell you how. All right. So name what you did. It's so easy. Once you may not know straight away, but once you ask the question, what did I do? Right. And they tell you what you did. Right. Then you've got it there right in front of your head, or you've written it down. This is what I did, without minimizing the effect of how the other person feels. So you're not thinking of the answer, and you're not trying to generalize it, and you're not trying to find a comeback answer, if you see what. So you've got a one-upmanship. Don't do that. It's not worth it. All right. So you're going to listen to what they've said, you're going to name what they're accusing you of, right? And then you go on to number 2. Now, it could be spoke over you, then walked away, all right? So people with young children here, this used to happen a lot. So you're here and you've got toddler on the shoulder and baby in the arm, I don't know, feeding or suckling at the breast. Husband comes in and you then start going, XYZ, this happened today. Did you do that? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? Actually, men's brains are wired differently to ours. And when a man comes in from work, this is not a blanket thing at all, right? Because it can be the other way around. There are women that have got some more masculine genes and vice versa. But the way that it generally works is that they will come in and they really need time just to sit and breathe. And I discovered this the hard way with my husband. And these are things I've learned over time, right? Over the years that we've been together. If he's come in from work, right, and he's such a gentleman that he would normally come in and go, especially if I was off work on maternity leave or something like that, he would come in and go, is there anything that you weren't able to finish tonight? But most men don't do that. They don't come in and go, has the dinner been cooked? Shall I help you with it? Or whatever, because he knows what I'm going through. He doesn't think that looking after children is not a job. It is. It's a job we love, but it's a job, right? And so he will come in and ask. But if your husband's not like that, then just give him time to breathe, like red wine. It just needs 5-10 minutes. Let him sit. Let him come in. Let him drop his keys. Let him change his clothes. And then when he's sat and he's relaxed, he should then be saying, how was your day? And you say, how was your day? And then you let him know. You give him all guns blazing, but you do it with love. Okay, so number 2, name the likely impact, right? So how did that make me feel? Name how it made your partner feel, right? That may have made you feel you dismissed me or that I'm alone. Name it, right? Name how they felt. Name the impact. Number 3, take responsibility. That wasn't fair. I own it. I realize what you're saying. I didn't mean that. It was not my intention. I'm sorry. That's really important. Number 4, ask what remains. Is there anything left I don't understand or didn't understand about that? Is there any? Tell me everything. Tell me how it made you feel. Sit with your, by that time, if you've asked her that or asked him that and said all these steps, then you should be able to by now be sitting on the sofa together and a bit more friendly. And then you say, please just tell me everything so that we can avoid this in the future. Number 5, state the change. Next time I need a pause, we'll say when I'm coming back. Now, this is really important. Sometimes one or other of a couple may walk off thinking that will make the argument subside. But if you walk off, you've got to come back. And it's just respectful to say, can we just pause, take time out, right? Take time out. I know a couple that instead of actually saying it, the husband does this and it's part of his culture and he does this and the wife knows. He's saying, time out, time out, time out. There's something I'm not getting here. Give me time. And he'll go away for 5 minutes, but he'll say, time out, but I'm coming back. Let me just breathe this in. Let me just understand it. And then he comes back. And then by that time, I guarantee you, the other person is calmer. May not be at ground zero, but they're definitely calmer than if you had stood there and had a face-on argument. I hope this is helping you. Season tip 3. Please put your hand up if you need to ask a question. Right, so repair phrases to practice before you need them. This is really important, right? You can come up with your own, but I've put down the pause with return formula. That has solved a lot of big issues with us because my husband uses that on me. If I'm blaring off, I don't know, about XYZ, that child, this child, that grandchild, we've got 10 of them, he will say, all right, just give me 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes and I'll be back. And he comes back. And by the time he comes back, I'm a little calmer, right? And more sensible, right? And then remember, you are on the same side. It's not a five-a-side football team. You are on the same side with your partner. Please. Give them time to breathe. You're on the same side. If you've been practicing one-upmanship, if you're that competitive with each other, then find ways to change. Get yourself a coach if you need one, but find ways to change. Intentionality matters. I keep coming back to this. That was not my intention. That saves a lot of arguments. Can I try saying it again without the sting in the tail? I'm so sorry, but I was tired. I'm exhausted. I've had a really bad day at work. Or I've had a really bad day at home with the children. Or when I picked the children up from the nanny was giving me all that. So I've had a bad day. I've said this in the wrong way. Please forgive me. Let me say it again because it still needs saying. Next, what would help this feel repaired, not merely finished? All right? So, please, is there anyone on here that can tell me any other tips that they use to de-escalate an argument or a situation in their couplehood, in their relationship? Anybody? Is there anybody on here? Is there a tip that you can share with us that's not on this screen at the moment? No? Okay. Next, and this is the end of that tip. Do not measure your relationship health by the absence of difficult moments. Measure it by the presence and the quality of and reliability of how you repaired. It's how Dennis and I repaired that has kept us going for 40 years. It's in the repair. It's not in the fact that we don't have arguments. Even now we do. We just have less of them. All right? It's actually in the repair. All right, season tip 4, rebuild friendship and fondness. Reconnection needs more than conflict management. After conflict, body, right, actually releases hormones, right? It releases flight or flight hormones, fight or flight in an argument. Now, after conflict, the body and the emotions need time to recover, just like when after you've had sexual intercourse, you need a refractory period. Scientifically, that's what it's called, the refractory period. And so just like when you're having most pleasure or enjoyment with each other, you need time to recover before you go again. In the same way, when you're having a conflict, you need time to recover in order to repair. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so this is season tip 4 still. So the 3 friendship practices. The 10-minute check-in. Reconnect for 10 minutes before you start talking about the bills, the chores, the logistics, the children, unless it's something that is so urgent that you have not got this 10 minutes to spare. Okay, I can see Sean laughing about that one. Okay, specific appreciation. Replace your, oh my goodness, if your husband or your wife consistently says, did you, I don't know, pay the gas bill today? And they say, remember to do that, right? And then you say, you're amazing. Will end up that you're amazing turns out to be just something that you automatically say, in the same way that drivers that are on here, we drive the car automatically when we're tired, don't we? Right? And we can get from A to B and sometimes don't even remember how we got there. And in the same way, I will start to feel, oh, you're just saying this, you're amazing thing, because that's just what your brain is remembering to say. How many times are you actually believing that I'm amazing? Because I believe I'm amazing. Are you really remembering it? So what we've tried to do is to use different terminologies so that it doesn't become a habit that you automatically say. Right? Now, curiosity over assumption, please. No matter how long you have been together, do never assume anything, right? Don't ever assume anything. Always ask, always check in, all right? If my husband is away from me, if he's away on business, we run a property business, so often he's away, sorting out properties, retarting them up or whatever. And if he's away, he checks in with me probably 3 times a day by just sending a message, and then at the end of the day it will be a phone call before he goes off to sleep from wherever he is. And the same thing I do. All right, it is so important. Check-ins. Next, I love this one. All right, the relationship account. All right, so my husband and I got a pot that we put nice things in. It's an imaginary pot, but it's in my head and it's in my heart and it's in his. So we deposit appreciation, right? I've got the most amazing husband. I'm saying it not just because he's on here, but it's true. He does all the shopping. I am the only woman on the planet that do not like shopping. I don't like going shopping. If I need something, a pair of shoes, I will find it online and order loads in and try them on and send back the ones I don't want. Or I will find, I've got big feet, I'm size 9. So I will find the shop that's got the pair of shoes in. I'll look on their website, I'll ring them up. Have you got my size in this? And I will go off to the shop and try it on. Right? I don't window shop. I don't like it. Now, I know it's a pastime. I know that girls love it and some men love it too. I don't. So my husband, he does the shopping in our house. All right, he does the food shopping. He will even sometimes go and off and buy clothing for me. He knows my size, and he'll buy stuff that he knows that I need. Right now, this man will come home with a bunch of flowers. Now, normally you'll think, well, what have you done? Have you done something wrong? But for the 40 years, I know it's not because he's done something wrong. It's just he wants to appreciate me. He'll buy me chocolates. I've put weight on. This man cooks the most lovely meals, and he buys me chocolate. Right? So we filled up this appreciation pot. Action, tension, reliability, and repair when things go wrong. That is our deposit. What is yours? May be different. You may be a woman that don't feel appreciated by a bunch of flowers. You understand? You may not feel affection by holding hands on the street or in church or whatever. All right? So your deposit pot will have different adjectives. Can you please take 1 minute to write down your adjectives. What's in your deposit pot? It could be some of what I've said, but it could be others. What's in your deposit pot? Oh, I can see the chat's working. I can see lots of messages in there. Let's see. Oh, lovely. We are working. Oh, thank you, Abraham. That's so lovely. I'm enjoying this conversation. Thank you. Okay, that's cool. Wonderful. Okay, so what's in your withdrawal? Now, withdrawal pots are the times that you've criticized, right? We're humans. There will be times that we critique each other. The best type of criticism is constructive criticism. Don't just leave constructive criticism for the people in your workplace, right? Give your partner that honor as well. I'm not saying don't critique. If they need it, critique, but do it in love. Do it with respect. So, criticism, neglect. Oh my God. Have you neglected your partner lately? Please write down a time that you last neglected your partner and you were aware of it and you've not even said sorry. Write that down. Broken promises. We're human. We're always breaking promises. Time, tiredness, all sorts will cause broken promises. Okay, but if you break a promise, then you need to come together and agree on, is this promise important enough for me to revisit it, or shall we move on? That's an agreement you make together. And contempt, okay? If you are horrible to your partner in public with the people around, that is contempt. And there's lots of other ways to show contempt of your partner. It is wrong. It's biblically wrong. It's so wrong. Now, in your withdrawal pot, what have you got in your pot that you need to fix? And you cannot repeatedly withdraw and then demand intimacy from an empty account. And let me tell you this, your relationship with God is just the same, right? Now, God is God, of course, He's the Holy Spirit, and He will always help you when you ask. I'm telling you, your relationship gets less and less, from 100% to 90, to 80, to 50, to right down to 10. With the Holy Spirit, if you are a Christian and you have been withdrawing and not depositing, all right? So it works both ways. I hope this is helping somebody. Okay, this is the end of that tip. Whatever you repeatedly notice, if I say to you, Dorneth, look for yellow cars, you may never have noticed yellow cars in your neighborhood before. The minute I say yellow cars, you will find 10. All right? Even if it's just a stripe down the side, you will find 10 cars with yellow on it. Whatever you repeatedly notice grows in your awareness. Do not ignore your problems. I'm not saying that. I'm very real. Don't ignore your problems. Do train your eyes to see more than the deficiency in your partner. Train your eyes to see the good things. Do a strength and weaknesses in your head or on paper. Please, it's something that I did. There was once in my life, I think probably around year 7 together. And as I said, I keep repeating, we're now at year 40, married 37, but we lived together for 3. We broke God's law, but God was so good to us. We've reached 40 years together. All right. Now, about year 7, I needed to get help from a counselor because I would just say it. So if there was something wrong, I would just say it. And I didn't really think about how I was saying it. I wasn't really, the honeymoon period had passed, and I wasn't thinking about how he would feel. And in the counseling session, he said the same thing. I haven't really been thinking about how you feel. I was just thinking about trying to find ways to upmanship you. Right. So these things we're telling you, I'm not telling you it because I haven't been there. We've been there and we've gotten over it. Right. So don't ignore your problems, but do train your eyes to see more than the deficiency in your partner. Season tip 5. Restore affection without pressure. Desire is affected by safety. I do not believe anyone should withhold sex. It actually says so in the Bible, and on one of my slides coming up, you will see that. Desire is affected by safety. If I do not feel safe with Dennis, I will not want to have sex with Dennis. I feel completely exhausted Because of children, work, sickness, or anything else, I would not be wanting to have sex with Dennis or even to want to kiss. And the relationship outside of the bedroom is sometimes more important than what goes in. If the relationship outside of the bedroom is kosher, boy, what goes on in the bedroom is all up there. All right, rebuild a ladder of closeness. I'm going to go a little bit faster, now 9:15. So rebuild a ladder of closeness. Presence, but eye contact. Turning things down, your phone down, and turn towards your partner and let them feel important. Non-demanding affection, a hug, a handhold, a sitting close with your arms around them or something like that, watching a film, right, with no hidden agenda, right? So not I'm holding your hand today and your wife knows, oh, he's holding my hand because it's going to end up in sex and I'm just too tired. I can't do that today. All right. So then she will avoid holding your hand if she knows that's the only reason you will hold hands. Warmth and play, compliments, flirting, shared humor. Dennis and I still flirt together. We flirt openly. Honest to God, sometimes we're at church and the younger ones will say, we're at a particular church, we were the oldest couple there. And they would say to us, oh my goodness, you two are so loved up. Because we naturally are. It wasn't always like that. We are because we practiced it. We practice showing each other compliments by flirting. An honest conversation, what helps each person feel open and safe is important because if they don't feel open and safe, their desire is shut down. Their desire for you is shut down. Mutual intimacy, chosen, respectful, and responsive, never used as proof of love. Okay, so I am not just being respectful to you today or responsive to you today because I need something. I'm about to ask you for something, so I've bought you those flowers or I've cooked the dinner. It needs to be all the time, just as proof of love or when you want something. Season tip 5, restore affection without pressure. Desire is affected by safety. It's on the screen, you can read it. Intimacy of any type, particularly sexual intimacy, must not become a weapon or a bargaining tool. As a relationship counselor, believe this is wrong. Whether you're a Christian or not, believe it's wrong, right? Our bodies, when you said your vows, one of the vows is, with my body I will worship you. Whichever which way you've said it, there is a newer version. But whichever way you have said it, you are saying that intimacy is part of what I will adore you with. So if I'm upset with you, right, and that's understandable, but long after the argument, I should not be using that dismissive nature, pulling away when he pulls towards me. I should not be using that as a tool against you. I call it weaponizing sex. Now, the other thing is sexual intimacy or any type of intimacy should not come through pressure. So it's a balance. Whilst as I shouldn't weaponize sex, it's also a balance. No pressure, no coercion, and no feeling that I'm entitled to that. No deliberately withholding affection or sex to punish him either, or her, or to control or obtain compliance. That holds both truths together for a couple. All right? Nobody owes their partner sex, by the way. All right? I don't owe you sex. I show you love through intimacy. That's different. And if I think about that like that, then I won't weaponize sexual intimacy. All right? Any questions? That's where I normally get a lot of questions. Any questions? Okay, moving on. The route back to sexual closeness may begin well outside the bedroom, and it should, with rest, with repair, with respect, with shared workload, and touch that is safe from demand. Okay, so that's the end of tip 5. Season tip 6, protect the relationship at all costs with a deliberate retreat. Okay, now there was a Bible verse I wanted to give you. Where have I done with it? Hold up, I really want to give you this Bible verse. Okay. Okay, can't find it now. I am actually going to make sure that I either send it out to everybody or I put it on the website because I research a whole load of Bible verses that proves my point about weaponizing sex. Okay? That's really important. So now, protect your relationship with deliberate retreat. Leftover time will fill that leftover priority. So if work is busy, if we run several businesses and so forth from home and we work together, if you feel that you are on the bottom of the pile or your relationship is on the bottom of the pile, right? Then you need to down tools and head off to wherever. Dennis and I used to go off to the Lake District in the UK. We would down tools and go off to the Lake District if there was something we felt that we could not solve with all the children and life and work and business around us. We would go off for 2-3 days at a time. I've got family members on here that used to babysit in order for me to be able to do that. So 4 levels of protected time. Please take a picture of this. Daily 10 minutes, right? Ask, how's your day been? How have you been feeling? Is there anything that you need to tell me? On a weekly basis, right? You may do it a different way around, but I'm just giving you the tips, ideas, right? On a weekly basis, take 45 minutes to an hour, all right? Go for a walk around the park or in the woods. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to cost you money. But a relationship meeting, appreciation, pressure points, and one agreement. These are the things that you should be doing in that 45 minutes to an hour as you walk. You're walking and talking. You are not walking, talking, and arguing. You are walking and talking and giving each other space. And another thing that must stop in all relationships, it stopped for us, is that whilst the other one is still speaking, you interject. Don't do it. Let them finish speaking. And let's just pray that they're not chatterboxes and they'll go on for the whole hour. Really? You need to give them time. Monthly shared experience. Interrupt your routine. Doesn't have to be expensive. Take time out just for you two. Take a day out. Get babysitters. Seasonally, deliberate retreats. Step away to restore and renew. Time does not automatically heal a neglected relationship. That saying where they say, time is a healer. It really isn't. What is the healer is you repairing over time, right? That is where the healing is. Left unrepaired, time is not a healer. Time with things left unrepaired over time will lead to separation and divorce, right? But if you repair over time, that's where your healing is. Intentional tension. Honest repair and repeated new experience create the conditions for healing. The reconnection rhythm. So let's quickly go through this. Notice, recognize the distance without exaggerating as we do, as humans do, and then name it, hear it, listen what they're saying, receive it without speaking, and then protect time around the relationship once you've noticed, named, and heard. Protect time together to discuss it. Time together to nourish your friendship, your fondness, your affection, and time to repair. That is the cycle, if you think about it, that you will naturally go through what you're trying to repair an issue between you. And we were just talking about retreats. So we have curated, Dennis and I, a couples wellness retreat. If you are in the UK, please join us. If you're not in the UK, please come. It's going to be the 20th and 21st of November. It's in a secret location. I will tell you it's in the Midlands just for journeying sake, but it's acres and acres of land. There's even golf courses there if you play golf. Full guided workshop on the first day. And also you will get a complimentary post-retreat clarity call. So I normally charge for a clarity call. If you look on my website, you will see that. But any couple coming to this retreat will get a free clarity call. We will book the time in at the retreat, and over Zoom, we will do a clarity call where, as a professional, I can help you to identify and pull out answers that are already within you. The answers are never with the professional. The answers are already with you, but you need professionals to help you pull it out. Now, so a full guided workshop. One of the things that we will be discussing is how food, your intake of food and what you eat affects your libido. So yes, what we eat affects what happens in between the sheets. And scientists have discovered that, and we will have an expert coming to discuss this with us. And then we'll have practical couple exercises, private conversational time, so by yourself as well as within the group if you want to share, and with me by myself over dinner or in the spa or in the classroom or in a break. You will have me for 2 days. Refreshments and lunch are all included. Right? You can pay for other things if you want to, but refreshments and lunch are provided. Overnight stay for 2 is provided. I would say it's a 5-star hotel. Their ranking is like a 4.5 star. It's nearly a 5. Dinner and breakfast provided. Spa access provided. You will need to pay for any massages or whatever you want, but we will be getting you, I'm negotiating at the moment, to get you a discount on those treatments that you may want to book, and you will need to book them, I think they said 2 weeks beforehand. On hurried Saturday morning, so we'll have a little bit of a late checkout, and you'll be able to use the spa again after we finish on Friday. Before dinner will be at 8, and you'll be able to use the spa between 4 and 8. And then again on Saturday morning. The place is lush. You're going to enjoy it. I visited them, Dennis and I, 2 days ago. We stayed there 2 days ago. Retreat, workbook and gift bag. I've been busy putting gifts together for you and putting the workbook together. And as I said, a complimentary post-retreat clarity call. This is for couples that are not necessarily in trouble. This is for couples that want to find ways to connect properly, fully, 100% before disconnection becomes crisis. Okay, so it's on the 20th and 21st of November. It's in the Midlands, and it will help us all, me too, to reconnect, restore, and rediscover us. And it's actually called Rediscover Us. And I'm just going to, hopefully this works, play the video for you. No. Christina, this worked before. I don't know why it's
Maybe,
happening.
I think because you're in the slideshow. So if you...
Because I'm in slideshow. Let me come out of it. Thank you, Christina. No, it's still not working. Okay, people, don't worry. It's on my website, on the retreat page. Is actually on the website already. Okay, let me go back to current slide. Okay, next. So sorry about that. All right, so, and by the way, it was also in the waiting room. As you were waiting before you came in, did everybody see that? Put your hand up if you did. It was in the, wonderful, it was in the waiting room, not the full version. The full version is on the website. Now, this retreat normally would cost £425. I am currently doing an early bird offer because it's in November, so we're still in early bird time, of £395. But for tonight, any couple on here that know that they want to come and will pay in full between today and Sunday night will get it at £370, and that's nearly at cost price for me. So I'm doing it because I want to make sure that it's affordable for all. £370, that's nearly cost price if you book before Sunday. So there's a scan and pay, and on the website there is also a PayPal link on the retreat page on the website, and the website Christina will put in the chat, holdingontogetherofficial.com. She's going to put that in the chat, and also the PayPal link for anybody that would like to make their decision this evening. Okay, for those of you who can't pay the £370 all up front, then we revert back to the £395 early bird, and then you could pay £100 deposit on our website. There are links that will tell you this is for the full price, this is for the £100 deposit, and this is for the balance as well, because I've already had couples that have paid the deposit and now are paying their balances. Okay, now that I've spoken about the retreat, is there anyone that has got questions about the retreat or anything else that I've shared this evening? Because we're almost about to end. Any questions at all?
When are we going to discuss the foods and hormones?
Oh, but yeah, I wish. I know that you're going to be coming over at some point in the winter, but I don't think it's going to be as early as November.
Okay.
But at some point, my dear friend in the USA and I will be repeating this retreat in the USA. So at some point, we will say to all of you that follow us on a regular basis, join us in the US of A. Where are you, in Kansas?
I'm in between Kansas and Missouri, but it will be in Missouri. That's where it's going
Oh,
to be.
wonderful. There you go. There you go. You heard it first here. Now, I am an author. I don't think I said that in the beginning. So I have published 3 books so far. One book was in 2011, and that was about gang and knife crime when I ran the Nelson Williams Foundation Against Gun and Knife Crime. And now I've also done books for couples. So Holding On Together, Prayers for Couples Under Pressure. It's not a prayer book. At the end of every chapter, I have given you a descriptive prayer, because sometimes when you're in a stress situation, even if it's an illness, sometimes it's hard to pray. Even the Bible says so. So I've given you prescriptive prayers, prescribing prayers at the end of every chapter. The book is jam-packed full of tips, things that Dennis and I have been through, tips and things that other couples have told us that they've gone through, so that we're covering over the chapters things that will help you. And then on top of that, we've also created the Holding On Together workbook for couples. And tonight you can buy the bundle. You can order if you're in the UK, you can order the signed piece of it. And I've sent some out last week that actually the couple told me what they would like me to dedicate to them, what part of their life they would like me to pray over and dedicate. And that's what I wrote and signed in the front of the book. I will do that for you. It's $39.99, and Christina will put the link for that in the chat. But again, it's on our website on our books page. There is a tab at the top saying, okay, now the Art of Forgiveness. So we've just done the Art of Reconciliation. Now we're doing the Art of Forgiveness. Now you can't really reconcile properly unless you've learned how to forgive. Forgiveness is something that needs to be learned. It's all the way through the Bible. We're human and it still needs to be learned. All right, depends on the level of hurt. And so next month, on the 16th of September, join me at 8 o'clock for the Art of Forgiveness. And that will be more of an interactive session, and we will have another speaker on here with me. And I'm not releasing their name just yet, okay, because they're not quite confirmed. But next month, the Art of Forgiveness, the 16th of September. Please put it in your diary. As from tomorrow, it will be on the website so that you can sign up for it. Now, this is a special, she did not know I was going to do this. My niece, who has been helping me on here for free, she's not part of my team, but she's helping me tonight. And she has just released last weekend her Christian fictional novel called The Children of Valoria. It is amazing. Mine came in yesterday. I received it and I've already read the first chapter. It's so brilliant. And there are other authors in my family. At some point, I'm going to put them up. Some of Violet Nelson, Briscoe, and she also does Christian fiction. The reason this is so important, Christians that are on here, writers that are on here, right? Whilst as I write about relationship help, so everything I do is to help solve problems. But we need Christian film writers. We need Christian authors. We need people that are going to give us other books to read apart from some of the trashy stuff that's out there in the world. Who agrees with me, people? Your hand up or come on the mic. Tell me. All right. So I'm bigging up my niece, Christina Nelson, Children of Valoria, Secrets of Azuriel. I hope I'm saying all this right, Christina. A century after civil war fractured Azuriel, sacred monuments disappear and forgotten symbols begin to return. A group of friends begins a search that leads them into a history their country was never meant to remember. It's an amazing book, and the link is here. Christina, put the link in the chat, please, so that they can go onto your website. But I do believe it's christinanelson.co.uk. Well done, Christine. I'm so proud of you. She did not know I would be doing this evening, but I'm really proud of her. And thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I hope you will join us on next month. I hope you will join us at the retreat. And so this is your next step. Distance is information. Even if there's not been any arguments, if there is a distance, you've noticed something small between you, it's giving you information, right? Telling you to repair before it goes worse. Right? Notice it, name it, hear from your partner, repair it, nourish your relationship, and protect it from everything. You have been listening to Hazel N. Williams from holdingontogetherofficial.com, and you have been a great audience. I hope this has benefited your life. Thank you so much. If there's anyone that wants to stay behind and ask me a question, please feel free to do so. I'll stay on for the next 5-10 minutes to accommodate that. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. If you don't want to ask me a question, you can leave. I've paused the recording, so